As we discussed on last week, you will be able to see the direction that the children of Israel are in, as well so as the location whereby Balak and Balaam are located. Balak is the king of Moab, and Balaam is a heathen diviner. He's one that practices divination, or what we call voodoo or witchcraft, but he's also one that reverences God's decision.
Yeah.
God had already spoken with him prior to him leaving his home up in the Euphrates River area, that the only way he could travel this journey would be if he would be willing to speak God's word, as long as he would say what God placed in his heart, in his mind, in his spirit to say to King Balak. He was able and discharged to travel with the messengers that King Balak had sent him. He arrives at the location of Moab, which is a location there near where the children of Israel are residing. It's near the plain of Moab, which is just across the Jordan River from Jericho. On one side of the Jordan River is Jericho. On the opposite side of the Jordan River is the plain of Moab, where the children of Israel are. It's just north of the Dead Sea, or the Salt Sea, and they're there, and the King Balak is in his jurisdiction, and he's afraid that the children of Israel are going to battle with his people and take over the territory. And so he has Balaam to travel from Pethor to come and speak a curse on the children of Israel. On last week we noticed that his being there, Balaam's being there, Balaam shares with King Balak in his messengers the princes to gather 7 bulls and 7 rams together, and on each altar prepare 7 altars, and in each altar would have a bull and a ram. And as he would go to a location and look over where the children of Israel are, talk to God perhaps, and God will give him permission. This is the concept of King Balak. But Balaam returns and shares with him, no, God did not give me permission to curse the children of Israel. As a matter of fact, he shares with me that children of Israel are a blessed people.
Yes. Yeah.
And so he takes him to another mountain. It says that he takes him to Mount Nebo. And he takes him up Mount Nebo to a peak called Pisgah, to a field there. And on this field of Zophim, he has another alternative, and that alternative is to prepare another 7 altars. And on each altar have a ram and a bull. And he's going to, Balaam says, I'm going to go yonder and talk to God again on your behalf. And see if God's mind have changed. And when he returns, he discovers that God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. In other words, God have not changed his mind. And when he returns, King Balak said, well, what did it, you talked to him? What did he say? And Balaam repeats these words from God. And so he says, King Balak says, well, I'll tell you what, maybe we need to go to another place where you can see the children of Israel more vividly. And so he takes them to the southwest portion of the mountain, and he shares with him there from the Dead Sea, southwest of the Dead Sea, so he can see on both sides of the wilderness and look over and see the children of Israel. And perhaps Balak says, perhaps if you can see them better, you may be able to talk to God and get God to change his mind. And that's where we left off on last week. Him trying to come in the presence of God, and God will perhaps change his mind, knowing that God is not going to change his mind. You are the only one that can change God's mind about you being blessed. And so the children of Israel were a blessed people. And God says to Balaam that being that the people are blessed people and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in my presence, I'm not going to change my mind about blessing them. King Balak is upset and he's concerned because number one, he's already sent Balaam money when he was back home, and sent other messengers and promised him houses with silver and gold. The houses would already be furnished. His home would already be furnished. And then he brings him and he prepares a luxurious and eloquent meal for him. And you know, when people start feeding you, they think that you should dance to their music. And Balaam is already confined with God, and God has confined with him, that whatever God says to him, that's what he's going to say to the king. And so the king's giving will not make him change his mind. We want to call your attention this evening to Numbers chapter 24. We have given you a brief of what transpired in Numbers 23. But we want to start our studies tonight in Numbers chapter 24. Are you there? We can begin reading. As I always state from the beginning of our studies, if we don't get anything else accomplished, at least we have read another chapter in the Word of God, perhaps a chapter that you've never read before. And so it will be something new to your hearing and to your reading on tonight. Numbers chapter 24. And when Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he went not as at other times to seek for enchantments, or he went not to seek if there were some evil spirits behind what God was doing to and for the children of Israel, but he set his face toward the wilderness. I want to say tonight that often we look for signs of blessings. You know, when people are being blessed, we want to see some signs. We want to really know, is this blessing of God, or is it luck? Is it luck, or is it of God? And so Balaam had made up in his mind that I've spoken and I've heard God's voice too many times now for it to be lingering around in my mind that what he's doing for the children of Israel must be of some enchantment, or must be done by some evil spirit. He's saying now to King Balak that I've experienced God's presence too many times. And now I know for myself. You know, before I was trying to find it out for you, King. But now, since God has spoken to me quite vivid, and I clearly understand God's voice. Now I know that the children of Israel are a blessed people. And you need to have it understood this evening that when you are being blessed by God, no man, no woman, no little boy, no little girl can put a curse on you. I'm talking about when you're being blessed by God. When God is blessing, you know, we sing the song, the Lord is blessing me right now. In the midst of where I am right now in life, regardless of how things look, regardless of how dim they may seem, God is blessing his people. And when God is blessing his people, no enemy, no other adversary, no other help, no foe You know, somebody, you know, they don't want to be at the forefront, and so what they do, they put somebody else up to do their dirty work. And so the person that's put up to do somebody else's dirty work, that person cannot bring a curse on you when God is blessing you. And so Balaam says to King Balak that I've seen God move too many times. I've heard his voice. I clearly understand that it's not a demonic spirit. It's not an evil spirit. It's not an enchantment that's talking back to me, but it's God. It's God. And being that it's God talking back to me, God is revealing himself that he's been blessing the children of Israel all along. And even I, a heathen diviner, do not have the power to speak a curse on those that God is blessing.
That's right.
And so he says he set his face toward the wilderness, and he'd seen the children of Israel. And Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel abiding in his tents according to their tribes, and the Spirit of God came upon him. He says, while he was looking from the mountain out toward the children of Israel where they were living, he saw them in their tents. He saw them separated by tribes. Even though they were separated, they were still in order. Now, even though you need to catch that. Even though they were separated, each family, each ancestor tribe were in their own section of tents. But they were orderly. And since they were in their own separate ancestral tent vicinity, and they were in order, Balaam come to the conclusion that they must be blessed by God. They must be blessed. He can look and tell that these are some blessed people. He understands more clearly now that he doesn't have the power, he doesn't have the wisdom, he doesn't have the understanding to speak a blessing on the people that God has blessed, is blessing, and shall continue to bless. You know, some folk think that, okay, well, once this blessing is removed, then I can do my part. No, you can't do your part when God is blessing his people. And one thing I've noticed is that you can look at folk and tell they're blessed. I'm talking about you don't even have to think about it. You can look at folk and tell that something is wrong with them, they're being cursed, and you can look at others and tell that they're being blessed. Balaam says that when I saw the children of Israel from the wilderness where I was standing, from my view, from my perception, he says when I looked at them and saw them, I could tell in my spirit that they were a blessed people. He says, I've already made up in my mind. I came here to convince the king, but now I've convinced myself that the folk that we are contemplating on cursing are blessed people. And one thing about being blessed, it shows in your demeanor. It shows in your character trait. It shows in your lifestyle. I'm talking about when you're being blessed. When God is blessing you. And one thing about it, he blesses those he blessed over and over and over and over again. Look like you come out of one blessing right into another blessing. I mean, we say the term that if it ain't one thing, it's another, but in the midst of another, you can still be blessed. Balaam said he lifted up his eyes and he saw Israel abiding. So he saw them stand in their tents, separated but in order by tribe. And the Spirit of God came upon him. Even a demon. A heathen. If you're a heathen, you got to have a demon. He had been used to speaking divination. Whatever demonic spirit told him to say, but in the midst of him doing his thing for money, because see what he did it for a living. You were going to pay him. If you went to him, you had to come to him with some money. You saw what the king did. First thing the king said to the messengers, when you get to Pethah and you find Balaam, give him some money. Pay him first. first. You go to the doctor. Doctor don't just tell you to come on in. I'm talking about medical doctor. I'm talking about dentists. They first want to know how they going to get paid. And when we discover how we're going to get paid, then we can tend to your pain. I'm talking about even in the emergency room. You know, you call 911, you thinking you just get there. You know, they ain't going to ask me for no money. They ain't going to ask me for no card. They got you in the room, you're half dead. They want to know, number one, who's in charge? They want to know who in charge. And secondly, the person that's in charge tell us how we going to get our money. We need to know. And so Balaam did what he did for a living. But in the midst of him doing what he did for a living, he also reverenced the presence of God. And now seeing that the children of Israel are blessed people himself, the Spirit of God came upon him. You may be a heathen, but I want to let you know the Spirit of God can come upon you. Make you shout and you don't even know what you're shouting for. You'll be happy in the Lord and don't even know what you have broke, busted, and disgusted, but the Spirit of God will come upon you. And when the Spirit of God come upon you, he will cause you to do some things that you normally wouldn't do in yourself. You know, some folk are stuck in themselves. And it's hard for them to get out of themselves. To get in the Spirit. But when the Spirit of God come upon you, see, the Spirit of God, when he comes upon you, what he does, he presses yourself. So he can feel yourself, so you can feel him. He comes upon you, he presses yourself, so you can feel him in yourself. And when you know anything, you're doing some things you ain't never thought about doing. Say, I ain't walking down that aisle. When you know anything, you down here talking about you want to be saved. Balaam said the Spirit of God came upon him. And he took up his parable, his little speech, and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, has said, and the man whose eyes are open has said, he has said, which heard the words of God, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. He says, I was in the Spirit. He says, now the king wanted me to go up in the mountain and look over and see some things and wait for God's voice to speak to me. But what the king didn't understand was that in order for me to deal with God, I had to be in a godly spirit. You can't be in carnal spirit and hear God's voice in the spirit. No, you got to get in the spirit with him. He said, if you come nigh to him, he in return will come nigh to you. If you get close, it's impossible for you to get close to him and he not get close. He'll get all up in you. That's right. Balaam said he fell. Say he had fallen into the Spirit. He fell into the Spirit, but his eyes were, he said, my eyes was cocked wide open. He said, I didn't even know what I was doing, but I know it was something uncommon. It wasn't the diviner spirit. It wasn't a heathen spirit. It wasn't an evil enchantment spirit. He said, I know I had fallen in a trance. How goodly are thy tents, how handsome, how beautiful are the tents that the people live. Say, how goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, and thy tabernacles, O Israel. He says, when I looked at their tents, he said, their tents were a reflection of God's tabernacle. That's right. That's right. Somebody missed that. That's right. He says, when I looked at their house and I saw how beautiful their house was, I could just imagine how the church house was. Now, I got to say this. Now, if your house is marvelous, if your house is gorgeous, if your house is beautiful, and God's house house is ugly, stinky and musty, then God don't have the problem. You got the problem.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I'm talking about if your house is brand new and still got the smell of newness on it. Huh?
Yeah.
And you come down here and it's just the opposite. Huh?
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't be sticking gum and up under the seats. Huh? You don't stick gum up under your seats at your house, do you? Huh? When you waste something on the floor at home, what you do? You don't just walk over it and wait for some custodian down the street to come to your house, do you? Huh? Well, bend your tail over here and pick the trash up. How much you got arthritis? Oh, you get down there somehow.
That's right.
Huh? No, we wait for the custodian to do everything down here. Huh? Waste paper in the parking lot. What we do? Just drive on off. Huh? They'll get it. And then when you come back up here, you know, for Sunday, you come up here looking for the paper that you dropped.
Come on, God.
He said, how goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, and thy tabernacles, O Israel. Now, the people lived in the tents, but they built the tabernacle for God's dwelling.
That's right.
Huh? That's why it was the meeting place or God's dwelling place. They expected for God to show up at the tabernacle, talk to the high priest, talk to the Lord priest, talk to the elders, to talk to the representatives in the various houses, to talk to the people. They expected God to show up at his house. God don't want to show up at no nasty house.
That's right. That's right.
Your house is luxury looking. The ground just gorgeous. Come down here, everything just chaotic. It's quiet in here. How goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, and thy tabernacles, O Israel. As the valleys are, they spread forth as gardens by the river's side, as the trees of lion aloes, which the Lord has planted, and as cedar trees beside the waters. He shall pour the water out of his buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters, and his king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted. Now, Balaam is sharing in this parable or this oracle for King Balak so he can better understand what God is doing for his people, that he's already blessed, that he is blessing, and that he shall continue to bless. Now, when it talks about Agag, his king, or the children of Israel's king, or their superiors being higher than Agag, Agag was a common position or title name for those that were of the Amalekites. Just like Pharaoh, you know, when we talk about Pharaoh, the word Pharaoh is not a name of the person that was in charge in Egypt. It was a title. And so Agag is not a person's name, it's a person's title. The king of the Amalekites were considered Agag. He was the king. And so what Balaam is sharing with King Balak is that when God finished doing what he's doing in the blessing of his people, number one, he's going to scatter some water on some seeds. He's going to multiply them even greater than they are right now, because Agag was the king of a great people that had eventually multiplied tremendously. And they thought they were all of that in a bag of potato chips. And so Balaam is sharing with Balak, the king, that what God is getting ready to do, he's getting ready to multiply them to something greater than what King Agag, or the Agag, has as the higher king. Says he's going to lift him up. And I want to let you know that if God lifts you up, you shall be higher. It's impossible for God to move you from one place to another and he not move you higher. If he move you, the first thing he got to do, he got to pick you up. I mean, when a crane comes in You know, the crane comes in with the, you know, with the cable. You know, when they hook the cable up and they get ready to move, they don't just move whatever is there hooked to the cable sideways. The first thing they do is they lift you. And so when God gets ready to move you, I want to let you know if God is doing it, he's lifting you higher.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
God is lifting you higher. And so King Balak has this understanding. He has this knowledge. Now, sometimes when folk bring us good knowledge that we don't want to hear, we don't want to hear. I'm talking about stuff that we can't accept. Because sometimes we can't handle the truth. Truth don't set well with some of us. I'm talking about, you know, you haven't washed your face this morning and somebody tell you you got matter in your eye, you get mad with them for telling you the truth. Now, King Balak is upset at Balaam because Balaam is not doing what he asked him to do. First, he asked him to curse him. Instead of blessing him. Then Balaam comes back and says, no, I can't curse him. So then the king says, well, if you can't curse him, then the least you can do is don't bless him. I said, no, I don't have that power neither. And so Balaam is sharing with him that God is getting ready to do something greater.
That's right. That's right.
Now keep in mind that the children of Israel have circled around where the people are living, and they showed up in the plain of Moab, just on the other side of the Jordan River from Jericho. They ain't bothered nobody. They ain't bothered nobody. They just want to be left alone. Right. And so King Balak thinks that the children of Israel are getting ready to take over his domain. He's territorial. You know how folk are when they think this is theirs. You know, some pastors think that, you know, this is theirs, so can't nobody come up there but them. You know, we get territorial. That's when we're not. That's when we, or what you call it? That's when we don't really accept the mere fact that our job can be replaced.
That's right.
Somebody held the job before you. And even if you were the founder of it, somebody else was doing it before you founded it and started doing your thing. Somebody else, you ain't the only one that mowed some grass. In other words. Somebody else know how to mow grass.
That's right.
And so Balaam, he's understanding in this parable that God is getting ready to take the children of Israel higher.
That's right.
And King Balak, he can't digest that. He don't even want them near him. You know, he's seen what they've done to the Amorites. He's seen what they've done to other nations that came out and tried to fight against them. Now, they just wanted to pass through. They said, can we just pass through? We don't even want to pass through on the main way. We just want to pass through anyway. We'll take the back road. You know, now some folk can't stand the back. Some folk in church don't even like taking the back. You know, they got to be in charge. If I ain't in charge, then I ain't doing it. You know, they say, you know, they put on a program. Am I in charge? No, you're not in charge of something. I don't want to be with this one. I wait for the next one. No, you can't be in charge every time. Now, let's take turns. Let's cast lots. Pick a number or something, you know. You go to the casino and you don't win every time. Talk to me now. You don't win every time. Yeah, I know some of y'all been going because they've been showing you picture on the news. You know, they flash every now and then. They show Diamond Jack. And they don't care where the camera hit. You know, they just showing it for the news. And now you are that ching. You didn't so God is sharing with Balaam that he's going to give the children of Israel something greater. And he wants him to share this testimony with King Balak. But King Balak, he don't want to hear that.
Right.
So now, I brought you down here to curse them so we could beat them.
Right.
And here you are talking good about them. Verse number 8, God brought him forth, talking about the children of Israel,
That's right.
out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of a unicorn, that's a wild bull. He shall eat up the nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows. He couched or crouched. He lay down as lion and as a great lion. Who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blesseth thee, and cursed is he that curseth thee. Now, God is sharing with Balaam to share with Balak that God has the strength, once again, as a unicorn, as a wild bull. I shared with you last week, and I did a demonstration on Sunday morning, how God ties himself to those that he blesses. And even if they don't want to come along, what do he do?
Come on.
They feel a tug. And when they know anything, they feel God's strength. He says God is so strong. He's like a unicorn. His strength like a unicorn. He has the strength of a wild bull. Now a wild bull can't be tamed. No, you ain't taming. You ain't taming no wild. You know, you might try to get the wildness out of it. You know, like God is trying to get the wildness out of us. Yeah, we ain't as strong as him, but this unicorn, you know, he ties himself to you and just pulls you. Because, see, some places he has to take you in order to bless you. You wouldn't go on your own because you're scared. And so what God does, he ties himself to you. And every now and then, you know, folk get ready to shout. That's the first move. That's the first move. I mean, just think about it. When that spirit hits you and you get ready to do it, you got to move. It's a move. It's a forward move that God is pulling you in a different direction that you normally were standing. Says strength. God brought him forth out of Egypt.
That's right.
He has, as it were, the strength of a unicorn. He shall eat up the nations. Now, it's talking about God.
Yes.
Talking about God. God is a spirit. And he gets down into his people. He connects with them. And then it says, when he connects with them, he says his people, talking about children of Israel, they're going to be like lions and lioness. And they're going to be couched or crouched. You know, they're in a position like this, and they just waiting. And then all of a sudden, God stirs them up. Now, when the spirit hits you and you get stirred up, you will move. And what he's saying is that when they get ready to move in their couch position, being that they're tied to God, God just pulls them. And all of a sudden, they start running after their enemy or their adversary. And when they get to them, they're going to eat them up.
That's right.
And when they get through eating them up, guess what they're going to do with their bones?
Spit them out.
It's right there. They're going to break them. They're going to spit them out. They're going to break them. They shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrow.
Right.
That's the spirit. For victory. You playing around with your enemy. Oh, he's so pretty. They after you and you don't even know it. God is trying to protect you by destroying them and you don't even know it.
That's right.
They so pretty. Come in. Ooh, pooty. No, that's your enemy. Ain't no need of you playing around with your enemy. Even at the church, there is no reason reason for you playing around with your enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
That's right.
Devil get in folk.
Yeah.
They come trying to sabotage. Huh?
Yeah.
We call it our plan, but it's not really our plan. It's the plan that God has put in us, so it's God's plan.
That's right.
Said, blessed is he that blessed thee.
That's
Somebody
right.
bless them. Those that bless the children of Israel
Will be blessed.
receive blessing.
That's right.
Those that curse
Will be cursed.
receive the curse.
That's right.
You remember when they were passing through? You know, they asked for permission. They didn't want them to have permission.
Right.
And so they passed through. And what the folk do? They come out trying to chase them.
Yeah.
And so God just put that lion spirit in them. Said, turn back and destroy them. Eat them up. Then when you get through eating them up, break their bones. And when they bone, when you see the marrow in the bone, stick your arrow in it. Huh? Said pierce. Didn't it?
That's what it said.
Pierce them through with his arrow.
That's right.
People of God are overcomers. I'm going to say that one more time.
That's right.
People of God. Regardless of how the economy is. Huh? Ain't no need of you complaining about what you don't have. Thank God for what you do have. Huh? Instead of eating a whole bag of potato chips, save some for tomorrow. Huh? Today eat a couple whole.
That's right.
Then tomorrow half them up. Then the next day crunch them up. Put a little chili on them.
Come on. Come on.
Make you a meal. Stop complaining. Ain't gonna do you no good complaining.
That's right.
Ain't nobody even listening to you complain. Huh?
That's right.
What good is for you to complain and then the person that you complaining to tell you, child, I know how you feel. Stop lying. Now, if you knew how they feel, then you would have been the one telling them what to do.
That's right.
Huh? Blessed people are overcomers. They can make it regardless.
That's right.
That's right.
Growing up, we didn't have much. We made it. I was getting ready to throw those biscuits out. Mom said, oh! Oh, that's a meal. Huh? Cooked all that bacon for breakfast and nobody eat it. You getting ready to throw it out? Make your salad.
Come on.
Huh?
That's right.
Yeah, do it like they do at Longhorn. Throw you some bacon on it. You an overcomer. That bacon may just be what make you over.
That's right.
You don't know what's going to happen between breakfast and lunch.
That's right.
Anything could happen.
Anything could.
Fire come. Burn down your house. All you got is that leftover bacon as you're running out the door. Huh? That make headline news.
How it be?
You know, they come up and say, well, what did you say? The bacon. Huh? Blessed people are overcomers. God said, I'm like with my blessed people, I'm like an 18-wheeler pulling a Volkswagen. Downhill. Volkswagen drive. Trying to stop him with the foot on the brake. Huh? He done burnt your tires off. Huh? Because see, you don't really know where God is trying to take you, but where he's trying to take you is for your good. It's not for his good, it's for your good. Now, God promised the children of Israel that he was going to give them some land, and the folk that were already in it, guess what? The land was going to vomit them out. The word of God said it was going to spew them out. That's vomit. As bad and harsh as it sounds, it is what it is.
That's right.
And then he came right back and said, now when you get in the land and you start messing up, guess what I'm going to do to you? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to vomit you out too. Huh? In other words, the land got some more vomit in its system.
That's right.
Say, God, God is the one that brought him out of Egypt. When he brought him, he had strength as a unicorn or as a wild bull to eat up the enemies and to break their bones and to pierce them. Those that bless you will be blessed. Those that curse you will be cursed. That's why I don't worry about that. That's why I'm talking about if you're on your assignment, I take these words with me.
There you go.
When I go into assignment, those that bless me, guess what? Gonna be blessed.
That's right, preacher.
Those that curse me, now I didn't say cuss. I said curse with an R. Take that other S out and put that R in there. Those that curse me shall be cursed. Not by me, but by God. Because what goes around, you know it. Verse number 10. And Balak's anger was kindled. Oh boy, he got all himself against Balaam. And he smote his hands together. You know,
that's right. That's right, preacher. He mad.
you can just imagine what's going through. Just imagine what would be going through your... No, tell me. Somebody start cussing in church. I'm talking about you done paid somebody to come and do something. And they came. Before they came, they took your money and spent it. And you just knew when you saw them, they were going to do what you paid them to do. And all of a sudden they tell you, I can't do it, and you ain't getting your money back. Just think what you would do when you
they don't
beat your hands together. Now, the beating of the hands together meant that the deal is off. The deal was, if you come, I'm going to give you a house, and the house will be fully furnished with silver and gold. And so when Balak beats his hand or smokes his hand together, he's literally saying that Balaam, the deal that we made when you first got here, that deal is off. I ain't giving you nothing. And Balak said unto Balaam, I called thee to curse mine enemies, and behold, thou hast altogether blessed them these 3 times. He says, I sent you money. He did send him some money. That's it first. He sent him money. Then he promised him property. You know, that's when he came. God said, you can go under condition that whatever I tell you to say, that's what you say. So he promised him property. When he got there, he fed him. That's a big one right there. Don't let nobody feed you. If they feed you, then that means they can rule you. Gave him money, promised him property, fed him, took him on a journey, wasted all of his time, killed his bulls, his rams, used some wood that he could have been using to make him a garage, to make these altars, and now you talk about you can't curse them? The deal is off. Therefore now flee thou to thy place. He said, go back home. Can't do what I brought you down here to do. Go back home. What good are you? This is what King Balak is saying to Balaam. He says, the deal is off. Go back home. I can't use you. I thought to promote thee unto great honor. But lo, the Lord has kept thee back from honor. He said, if you want your house with the silver and gold, go talk to God. He got your reward. Now some of us would have pulled our knives and pistols. No, don't pull yourself out your purse. Some of us would have pulled our stuff out. You know, you mean to tell me first you're going to tell me the deal is off, and then you're going to get smart with me in front of other folk and tell me to go back home? The devil is a lie. You know, I don't mind you telling me to go back home, you know, if ain't nobody but me and you. But to be in the company of some folk, you And you know, Balaam had messengers.
That's right.
You remember he had two folk that came with him. And then the king had folk that were always going to be with him because the king had armor bearers. He had princes that hung out with him, noblemen. And these folk are right there. And then he's going to get smart. No, you ain't getting smart with me now. Huh? No. I don't mind you not giving me the stuff, but don't get smart telling me to go back home. You know, some of us would have got up in his face. Huh? Now, I don't care if I am a member of First Baptist Church of Cedar Grove. You ain't going to talk to me like that. You know, you all up in his face, looking all crazy. Those demons roaming. You know, when those demons start roaming, boy, you look. Huh? You turn into something else. He said, go back home. And if you want your stuff, go talk to your God. If he give you a house, some silver and some gold, then so be it. That's between you and your God. Verse number 12. And Balaam said unto Balak, spake I not also to thy messengers which thou sentest unto me, saying, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of the Lord to do either good or bad of my own mind. But what the Lord saith, that will I speak. Balaam said, I told your servants from the get-go. I'm talking about before I came down here, I already told them. Get them to tell you. Man, didn't I tell y'all that I had to say whatever God commanded me to say? Now, they ain't going to say nothing because they scared. So what scared folk do is just like in business, mean they just... You know, you done talked all that noise about me out in the cut. But we in the meeting now. And you need to stand and say something. What you do? Child, ain't even talking about me. Huh? The messengers were quiet. Nobody want to own up to it. They gonna say, I told them before I came how I was gonna handle this situation. Now y'all gave me y'all money, so I talked to God. Here I am. I done ate up your food. You know, the food was so good you can keep the property. Huh? I'm talking about if you get a real good meal and somebody done promised you a house. You know, they didn't never let you see the house, but you saw the lamb. Huh? You don't understand that because you ain't never you don't know about. Oh, you saw the fried chicken and the frog legs and the swimps. Huh? Huh? Yeah. So you know, I can say shrimp, but you know that's what we call shrimps. Huh? So that's what you want. You know, you keep the house. You ain't never showed me the house in the first place. But you put those shrimp and frog legs and all that good meat with the herbs. Huh? Now I ain't talking about the herbs that you smoke. Oh, come on. Somebody started licking their lips. No, don't you be doing that in here. We in church. Huh? Not those type of herbs. I'm talking about marinating of meat herbs. Huh? Y'all looking at me like folk don't smoke stuff in church. Huh? No, I'm talking about them smoking in church if you light it up. Some of them come in high, so they don't know they're in church. They're just in a building. There's lights, heat, gas. Let me go on with my little lesson. If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of the Lord to do either good or bad of my own mind. But what the Lord said, that will I speak. Verse number 14. And now, behold, I go unto my people. Come therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter day. He said, okay, I done came and told you what the Lord told me to tell you. I followed God's command. Now you done got mad, King Balak, and you done you know, jumped up, clapped your little hands, talking about what you ain't gonna do and where I can go, you know, I can go back home. He said, I tell you what, I'm going back home. But I got one more thing to tell you. Huh? Let me tell you, I got one more thing to advertise. Now, it's bad when folks start advertising when they're mad. You know, folk get mad and they start, ain't no telling what they may say. Huh? I'm talking about when steam start coming out their nose like they wild bulls. Huh? He said, I will advertise thee what this people shall do to your people in the latter day. Now, they ain't going to do it today, but sooner or later, they're going to do something to your people. Verse number 15. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor has said, and the man whose eyes are open has said, he has said, which heard the words of God and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance. He says, I was in the spirit when I saw this, so don't think this is something that I'm just making up on my own, but when I was in the spirit, he says, I had my eyes wide open. Right. He says, I didn't make this up, I was in the spirit. Verse number 17, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not now. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheph. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Now, in verse number 17, when it talks about a star, it's talking about the omnipresence or the Spirit of God reigning over, through, and for the children of Israel. That's right. When it talks about the star, it's talking about God, being omnipresent, reigning and ruling for and through the children of Israel. Now, when it talks about scepter, it's talking about a rod or a staff. Whoever had the authority, whoever was in charge, whoever had the responsibility of another group would carry around a scepter. Or they would carry around that rod or that staff to let everybody else in the group know that, hey, I'm in charge of this group. Right. And so it's saying here that God himself is omnipresent with the children of Israel, and it's God that's been carrying around this ruling scepter. It's God that's been carrying around this rod. It's God that's been carrying around this staff, so those in the company of the congregation would know who's leading them from one place to another and who has authority over the entire group. It's saying that that person that has the rod, that person, God, who is the star, who is omnipresent, he's the one, not the children of Israel, but it's God through the children of Israel that shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy those that are in that jurisdiction that are not children of Israel. If you're not children of Israel, then you had to be part of the family of Sheph, Edom, Seir, these enemies, those that were already living in the place, they're going to be destroyed. Why? Because it has to be for the children of Israel to take possession of the land. The land has its own way of spewing or vomiting out those that are in the area. Balaam had to hip King Balak to what God is going to do to him and the surrounding cities in the latter days. Now, how long is latter? Whenever God get ready. That's right. That's right. How long is soon? Whenever God bring it to pass. Says soon and very soon. We're going to see the King. Some going tonight. Others going tomorrow night. Others going knowing some years from now if we still here. But whenever God get ready. And so Balaam is hipping Balak, or he's bringing it to pass. Of what's going to happen to the people. Now, there's no need of you being upset, King Balak, about the children of Israel being in the plain of Moab, because when God gets ready to do what he's going to do, the one that's holding the scepter or the rod or the staff, the one who is the star and omnipresent, when he gets ready to destroy those in this area, guess what he's going to do?
Destroy.
Destroy all the children.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Destroy.
He's going to do it.
Yeah.
And the children of Israel are going to be more blessed then than they are now.
Yeah.
Moving up out.
When he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Amalek, he was Esau's son, Eliphaz's son by girlfriend Timnah. So Amalek was the son of Eliphaz, who was born to his concubine or his girlfriend Timnah, that we studied over in Genesis. And these individuals had resided in a particular area. Said, children of Israel, they're going to get that land.
That's right.
Then it goes on to verse 21. And he looked on the Kenites and took up his parable and said, strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy nest in a rock. Nevertheless, the Kenite shall be wasted until Ashur shall carry thee away captive. Now, when it talks about the Kenites, it's talking about the Midianites. The Kenites were considered those in the tribe or the family of the Midianites. The Midianites were the group that Moses got his wife from. Do you remember that? When he went down to Midian and he married Zipporah? Yeah. And so,
That's right.
you know, sometimes we try to spare it. We don't want to tell them because they some kin to us. Yeah. Says, when Ashur carried away these Kenites captive, they're going to possess the land. Somebody else is going to do the dirty work. Ain't nothing like just getting some land somebody just left for you. Now, this is the area of Assyria. Now, when you look on your drawing, this, when it talks about the Assyria, now we're talking about up in Haran or the Mesopotamia area. Just north of the Mesopotamia area is Assyria. And so we're seeing where the children of Israel, yes, they're going to possess the land of Canaan, but being that there's so many of them, the property is going to expand outward from the Mediterranean Sea. Verse number 23, and he took up his parable and said, alas, who shall live when God does this? In other words, what are your plans? King, you done brought me down here. You had plans for me to curse those that God blessed. What are your plans when God gets ready to destroy who he's going to destroy for the sake of his own blessed people in the latter days? King, what are your plans? So what you going to do? And ships shall come from the coast of Cedar and shall afflict Ashur and shall afflict Eber, and he also shall perish forever. He says, what are your plans? What are your plans when ships that are floating in from the Mediterranean come up and afflict those in the Assyrian area? What are your plans? What are your plans when ships come in and afflict those that were were originally part of the Hebrews. You know, sometimes we hear the word Hebrew and we hear Israel. It was a combination, but they're getting ready to wipe out those that are of the Hebrew nation of Eber. That was stated to have been the start of the Hebrew generation. He says, what are your plans when God gets ready to wipe out some folk for his people? So what you gonna do? What you gonna do when you done scheme and plan to get rid of God's folk and God brings in a ship that got some affliction on it? You know, that could be anything. You know, that's various things that causes affliction.
That's right.
You know, it could be sickness. You know, the ship pull in, everybody on the ship got an epidemic. They come in contact with you that are already there. You get sick, you die, they get back on the ship and go to another port.
Get the
So a ship shall come from the coast of Cedar. And when he talks about Cedar, I'm talking about the coast of Mediterranean. And shall afflict Ashur, which is Assyria. And shall afflict Eber, which is claimed to have been the Hebrew race of Assyria. And he also shall perish forever. Talking about perish, talking about dying. Losing your power. Losing your authority. You know, you've been carrying around your rod or your staff, but it's no good when you are stretched out. I'm talking about for good. Huh? And no, they ain't gonna bury all your stuff with you. I promise you. You know, I went to a funeral not long ago. They buried a lady with a hat on. Huh? Oh yeah, they buried. I did a funeral a few weeks ago. They buried a lady with a hat on. Yeah. But they only buried her with one hat. That was the only hat. Somebody took the other one. That's where I'm going. Yeah, they may bury you with some of your stuff. They may have your necklace, your brace, your bracelet and all that on at the funeral. But I'm quite sure before they seal it. I don't know if it's in the car that transport the body or where. But if it's of any value, some family member may tell the man at the funeral home, I ride with the body. So what? You ain't never seen that before? They say, I ride with the body. If they ever get out first before they pull the body out and they smiling, that means they done stole something. Yeah, you may get buried. But you won't be buried with this gold and this silver. So where you going? You don't need it. Verse number 25. And Balaam rose up and went and returned to his place. He went back to Peter. He said, I'm going back home. Ain't no need of me being treated like this. I don't care if they did pay me. I don't care if they did promise me some property that they didn't give me. I don't care if they did eat and they allowed me to eat them out of house and home. I don't care, I'm going back home. So he went his way. Said, this ain't the only place I can get work. And Balak also went his way. Now Balaam is excited because he's going back home. But Balak, he's mad, he's disgusted and scared. More scared than disgusted. Ain't nothing like being scared. I mean, you the king, and the folk looking up to you, and you scared. I'm the pastor, and I'm scared, and you looking up to me to encourage you. And then I come up on Sunday morning just. Pastor, is there a word? There's a word. I can't even get it out, so scared. Balaam is afraid to face the folk.
Yeah.
Because he just knew he had a plan and it was going to work. Ain't nothing like having a plan that don't work. And any plan whereby God is not in it, he's not a part of it, it will never, ever work.
That's right.
But he's upset.
He's upset.
He lied to the man. He's upset. Balaam goes back home. Balaam goes his way.
Oh, yeah.
Shaking his head. You can just imagine what's going through his mind.
Oh.
You know our favorite phrase. I can't believe that. I can't believe it. You mean to tell me we done wasted all this time? Ain't nothing like wasted time. You know, you mean to tell me we done wasted all this time bringing him down here, and this sapsucker that told us he can't do. Now that's in Armitage version.
He cussing.
We know that.
Just knew
He cussing.
he was going to help us.
Yeah.
And I had to send him back home. You know, you go peek over the mountain, they still there. And now what's going through your system is what Balaam have just shared with you, that they getting ready to wipe you out, man. Now you done paid somebody to say that when you already knew it. You already knew. The other folk got wiped out. The folk before them. So what make you think you ain't gonna get wiped out? And this is the word of God. Our young people are still downstairs, or